Ever noticed how some people lose credibility the moment they open their mouth? It's not what they say, but how they say it. However, speaking too rapidly can instantly signal anxiousness or a lack of control, especially if the words sound garbled or hard to follow. Fast speech often gives the impression that the person is overly nervous, and that subtle signal alone can quietly erode their credibility. On the flip side, slow speech can project contemplation and calm. When someone deliberately articulates each word, it suggests they're genuinely considering their thoughts as they speak. But here's the twist: speak too slowly, and suddenly you risk sounding hesitant, even disconnected. That's why finding a balanced, natural tempo, one that feels effortless yet deliberate, is essential for projecting both competence and relatability. And it doesn't stop there. Your rhythm and pauses communicate as much as your words. A speaker who uses well-timed pauses creates space for listeners to process, signaling control and confidence. Each pause becomes a silent emphasis, making your words feel considered and intentional. In contrast, frequent hesitations or filler words like or tell your audience one thing you're uncertain, maybe even unprepared. Remember, intentional pauses aren't gaps. They're powerful highlights. Used wisely, they can elevate your message and establish your authority, silently commanding attention. Have you ever felt judged just because of your accent? It happens more often than you think, and usually without a word being said. Now, just as speed and rhythm signal passion or control, your accent quietly shapes how people see and trust you. Number 4, accents and dialects don't just reveal where you're from. They subtly influence how others perceive your identity, your credibility, even your intelligence. Studies confirm that people form almost instant judgments based on accents, often without realizing it. Some accents are linked with education and refinement. Others spark feelings of friendliness and approachability. But beware, certain regional accents trigger stereotypes, both positive and negative. In many cases, accents tied to specific regions or socioeconomic backgrounds carry unfair stigma. Listeners may unconsciously associate them with lower ability or competence, feeding biased assumptions that aren't rooted in reality. And here's where context matters. An accent that works in your favor in one situation can work against you in another. Take the Southern accent in the U.S., for instance. In casual or personal settings, it's often seen as warm, friendly, even trustworthy. But shift to a formal or technical environment, and that same accent might trigger hidden biases, leading others to question your expertise. Accents also work as connection tools. People sharing the same accent often feel instant kinship, a silent bond that builds trust and rapport. But for someone with a distinct or uncommon accent, that same difference can become a barrier, leading to feelings of isolation and misjudgment. While your accent reveals origins and biases, there's a deeper layer of vocal expression you can control consciously: inflection. Number 5. Inflection is how your pitch rises and falls during a sentence, signaling your emotions and intent. For instance, pay attention to upward inflections. Can you spot sentences where the pitch rises at the end? In this next clip, I'll help you hear exactly what that sounds like. If you've ever felt unsure whether people truly understand you, you're not alone. But the good news: communication is a skill, one you can master. I've spent the past decade studying communication, and I'm confident I can help you overcome any communication challenges you're facing. Now, let's address a subtle but powerful problem: those sentences that end in upward inflections. They're often tied to uncertainty or the silent search for approval, almost like the speaker is unconsciously asking a question without realizing it. Think about it. You resolve all of your communication issues. Or, you resolve all of your communication issues. Hear that rising tone. It unintentionally signals doubt, as if the speaker themselves isn't convinced of their own words. But mastering your tone, removing the unnecessary upward lifts, allows your message to land with clarity, authority, and confidence. In short, speak like you believe yourself. That's where transformation begins. There's one vocal habit that silently weakens your message, no matter how strong your words are. It's called uptalk, and chances are you've used it without even noticing. This speech pattern, known as uptalk, can subtly make you sound less authoritative and less confident. That upward pitch at the end of your sentences signals hesitation, as if you're unsure, even when you're not. In contrast, mastering downward inflections can instantly change how you're perceived. Ending your statements with a falling tone projects certainty, finality. It signals that what you've said isn't a suggestion, it's a fact. Now, here's the important reminder. I've been teaching communication for the past decade, and I'm confident I can help you overcome any communication challenges standing in your way. Because when your tone carries security and authority, people listen, want to sound instantly more confident, even without changing your message. It's not about your words. It's about how you finish your sentences. When people end their sentences with a lower tone, it subconsciously signals confidence. This subtle downward inflection makes speakers appear more assertive and more credible. That's why politicians and public speakers are often trained to end their statements with a downward tone. It gives the listener a sense of control, of conviction, like the speaker knows exactly what they're saying and believes it. But tone is just the beginning. Intonation, the natural rise and fall of your voice, plays an equally powerful role in shaping how authentic you sound. When people speak with varied, natural intonation, they come across as genuine and engaged. Audiences feel they're listening to a real person, not a script. On the other hand, a monotone voice, flat, emotionless, creates distance. It's often perceived as disinterest, even when that's not the case. And here's the catch. Even the most carefully chosen words can fall flat if your voice doesn't carry the right energy behind them. But there's one final layer you can't ignore. Number 6, body language. Nonverbal cues like facial expressions, hand gestures, and eye contact amplify your message more than most people realize. A speaker who makes consistent eye contact, uses purposeful gestures, and maintains an open posture isn't just heard, they're trusted. In short, your body speaks before your words do. Remember, people don't just listen to your words, they read your body. In contrast, someone who avoids eye contact or shows closed body language often comes across as uneasy, insincere, or even untrustworthy, no matter how truthful their words might be. This is why the interplay between your spoken language and body language carries so much weight. When both work together, when your words and your gestures match, you're perceived as authentic, credible, and powerful. But when they clash, that's when problems arise. Picture someone smiling while delivering bad news. That mismatch triggers cognitive dissonance, leaving the audience feeling uncomfortable and doubtful. So, here's the takeaway. The way we communicate is more than just words. It's a complex, nuanced reflection of who we are. Master both your voice and your body, and people will not only hear you, they'll believe you.